Good evening, everybody, and welcome to TFC Live Season 2, Episode 48. Tonight we've got a fair amount to discuss. I maybe was a little bit vague with the description of the show, but I just written weekly update and obviously the bounty discussion, but there is actually quite a lot in this week's update, including quite a lot of TLCs. But before we head into it, how are you all tonight? How is the wonderful panel?
Fantastic.
Groovy.
Mark, come on. You've never used that word.
I don't know if I could top groovy.
Mark, you have never used that word in your life before, have you?
I told you, man, I've been on a Red Bull all day. I've had a long day.
Rue is tubular.
All I know is that if I took any Red Bull, I'd be pinging off the walls.
Well,
I'd be asleep.
Well, on that note, let's have a groovy show, guys. We have the lovely the lovely Rue, excuse me, mistaken the R's, sharing the slides.
How do you mess that up, Liam?
I know. That wasn't even a big word.
I'm going to make you say my last name again, just to mess you up.
I can say your name very fluently now.
George, your last name is easy. It's Noob, isn't it?
It is.
It's Apocalyptica.
Oh, jeez.
Well, it's not as bad as Brian's. I mean, anyway, I'll click on to you, Rue, and I don't know if Mark, are you leading this in the slides, or Rue, are you going away with it?
She is.
I think I'm going to run with it.
Brilliant.
Mm-hmm. Okay, well, welcome to Season 2, Episode 48. We have a lot to go over today. First up, we've got Tech Up 3, a repeat of Hunter games, some mega combat changes, Bounty 4.0, and then some bug fixes and tuning. So let's just dive right into it. First up, Tech Up 3. This one is available until Tuesday, December the 5th. There are 9 prize packs. Each awards a random chest. And there are 3 new components this time. So if you've already owned the other components that are in there that would normally be awarded, you're going to go ahead and get awarded a token similar to Tech Up 3. It's a 1-hour token. Sometimes I think it's a repair, and sometimes I think it's a ship build token. So the items that are repeated... Sorry?
This time it's random drops, though.
Yeah, yep, and that's a really good point. Last time when we did this, if there were 5 items in there and you owned the old ones, then you just went straight to tokens after you finished all of the runs. This time, though, it seems to be that it is randomized now. So instead of doing, if you only need the 3 new ones, instead of just doing the first 3 levels of this to get the new ones, now it's all random. So you potentially, and there have been people out there where you just get tokens straight up until the end, and then you go ahead and get the new items. So there has also been some reports of some issues. I believe there was one player that got nothing but tokens, so I believe that is being looked at right now. So at this point, I would kind of hold off until we understand if that has been corrected. The repeated items this time around, we've got Speed System 6, we've got Deflection Upgrade SH6, the Deflection Upgrade STR6, Ion Thrusters 4, Sonic Targeting 4, Nuclear Accelerators 2. And then we've got 3 new items, first being Hydrodynamic Shells 4, Autoloaders 4, and then Strike System 4. So, and I have to apologize, Andrew was unavailable today, so you're all going to have to put up with my crappy images for the presentation. But here are the 3 new items. The first one, Hydrodynamic Shells. This one, not too heavy. It's got sonar range of 30, and the explosive hit submerged. We're looking at an increase of up to 68% on that one.
And retroed? Quite a bit more.
Yep, and then Strike System 4. This is an interesting one. This one gives the penetrating range of 30%, plus a flak evade bonus of 19%, and also giving a bonus combat speed and then a map speed. Now, I believe this one, it's a little bit chubby. I believe this is the one that Brian was talking about last week.
Yeah, but hang on a minute. Penetrating range of 30. When we saw it last week, it said 40.
So yep. I believe, that's been adjusted.
Oh, well, you can poke it now. Darn it.
And then the last but not least, we've got Autoloaders 4. Another chubby one. This one's 30% weight. And we're looking at a ballistic reload of 66% and then a radioactive reload of 66%. Now, I believe that's new. Wasn't the other one just ballistic?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, last week it was just ballistic, and it wasn't a... I think the weight was the same, and it's not retroed, so Autoloader 3 was better than Autoloader 4. So I don't know why they're calling it Autoloader 4 when it's really just a radioactive reload. I mean, that's the only thing you're going to use it for.
I wonder if this stacks with the Pyramid Special.
Ooh. I already got that retroed.
I did not look at that yet, but okay. So those are the 3 new ones. So again, if you owned all of the other components that are available, there will be random, you will either get one of these new ones or you will get a random 1-hour token. Okay, moving on to Hunter Games. This is a revised Hunter Games. It does not match the original one. This one runs until Wednesday, December the 13th. It unlocks at level 50. Whether you're earning your Hunter Blueprint for the first time for the December raid or you're hunting tokens to refit your Hunter, this is the TLC for you. Go ahead and get your skirmish hull in top form for the event. Now, these notes were for the original release that they did. It said you could use Apollos, Phoenix, and Skyfire. We know, obviously, the Phoenix and the Skyfires can be used. It did state that the first 5 targets could be done with the Apollo fleets, and then the 6th and 7th will need Phoenix and Skyfire fleets. I'm not sure if that still applies. I've not talked to anybody that has gone through and done it yet, but that was from the original notes that were released. This one apparently has increased. It's harder to do. One of my guys in my alliance said that he did it and he saw a significant increase in damage on this one. I think, Mark, you said somebody else mentioned the same.
Yeah, they basically said it's hard as nails the further you go along. Yeah.
Okay, so let's take a look at the prize packs because they did change around. So prize pack 1 will earn you the Hunter MK1 hull itself and the Houndstooth depth charge. And then prize pack 2 is where the PBX payload is, as well as a Hunter MK1 build token. And then they've added in the Wolf's Tooth depth charge, which is interesting because that is also in the weekly, but that has also been added into this prize pack. And then prize pack 3 gives you an additional MK1 token and then the skirmish chest. Now, if I remember correctly, the skirmish chests were awarding skirmish tokens, which could be used on either the Hunter and the Fang.
It's the random drop, isn't it? Yeah.
Yep, and it's the random one. It could be, I know there were some 2-day ones, there were some 4-day ones, and some 1-day ones. So again, that's a random drop.
Yeah, random towards the 1 day, because...
Well, I got up to 14, I think, through the whole campaign of everything sort of mashed together. I think I got 14
Did you really?
days worth. Yeah, in total, yeah.
Damn.
Yeah.
I gotta start pointing like you.
So prize pack 4, this is where you get the charged synth armor, the C1CT. So if you need some more of that, as well as another skirmish chest and 2 Hunter MK1 Hunter build tooth tokens. Now, just to clarify, obviously the Hunter MK1 tokens cannot be used on the Apex, but the skirmish ones can. So these ones will only work on the regular Hunter hulls. And then prize pack 5. We've got, and this is significantly different, so we've got 4 more of the charged armors, 4 additional skirmish chests, 4 additional Apex Hunter build tokens, so these ones will work on the flag, as well as some Hunter VXP, Apex Hunter VXP tokens, and the actual Apex Hunter blueprint itself. There's a wee error on this screen on the in the game. You can still only get one of the Apex. You can't go ahead and do 4 Apex Hunters. It looks like you can still only get the 1.
So it's only 5 Hunter tokens, like straight Hunter tokens? Did I count that right? 2, 3, 4.
Well, there's a skirmish is generic, isn't it? So you can use
Yeah. Well, of the straight Hunter tokens, there's only 5 this time?
Let's see, there is 2, 3, 4. Nope, 4 of them.
4 of them. Wow.
1, 2, 3, 4. Yep. So 4.
Is it me or are they like just being stingy as hell this week?
Well, Apex Hunter times 4 in Prize Pack 5, isn't it?
See, that's the difference.
I mean, I'm just saying there's the Hunter tokens are cut down. The tech up is screwed.
Well, I take it what they're saying is this is for you to finish off or do refits, not to go and start from fresh. I take it that's what they're saying.
Yeah.
Whether
And if you remember last time, we got regular Hunter tokens in Prize Pack 5. This time they've added the Apex. And we've got the Apex tokens.
I mean, Holsha just said it in there. I mean, these generic ones. I'll do this because the generic ones I'm going to save for next year, the skirmishers.
Yep.
Or for a later date.
Yep. Okay. So again, prize packs. Not going to go through all these in huge detail, but obviously you get the Hunter MK1 hull itself. You also get the Apex Hunter hull. You've got the stats for all of those in here. I just wanted to make a note on this because there was some confusion with people that were building this for the first time. The transfer of health. The way this works is that it kicks in at a particular time. Now, with the Skyfires, as soon as the regular Skyfires drop down to 75%, that's when the healing ability of the gut spells kicked in. It's different with the Hunter. It's a 50% threshold. So in other words, your ship has to be half dead and close by before it will start transferring those armor points, and it's only going to transfer 750. And I think, George, you said something, you were doing some testing and it was based on proximity?
I think that there is a range for it. I honestly I can't remember because we did the testing last month, and bloody hell I can't remember.
It's got quite a big aura though. The aura's quite large.
I will say it actually worked really well in autoing the targets last raid. Because if you ran the targets on auto, because I was a lazy pirate last month, you would get through like 4, 5, or 6. I think it was 5 or 6 targets, and then you had to go in and repair, and you just repair the Hunter, the Apex with a grease monkey, and you could get 3 more targets out of it without repairing anything else, just the Apex. And you'd go in, and it was like it was 1 coin for 3 targets. It was great.
Yeah, the range is cool. 70 there. It's more than usable. I quite liked it. I sent mine slightly further forward and took all the hits. So I just remembered
what you were saying, Robin. Yeah. So at the beginning, last month, the beginning when we were first starting to play with this, it was healing 1 ship at a time rather than all of them at the same time. And at some point during the raid, that changed to now it's healing just like the Skyfire, where it's healing everything at the same time. So that was corrected. I think there was a bug somewhere and someone caught it, and while we were testing, it was corrected because now if you go in, it'll actually heal like everything else all at the same time. I'm sorry, I just remembered what the reference was. Sorry, Rue.
No, that's okay. I just remember there was a big discussion about it, so I'm glad to hear that has been corrected. So if you saw that last time around, now it should be healing equally across all of them as opposed to just healing the closest ship. So that's good. That's a good thing. Okay, moving on. Of course, we've got the Houndstooth depth charge in the prize pack 1, and then the PBX payload in prize pack 2. I know there were a lot of people that did not get this last time, so there are going to be a lot of people that are looking towards getting this, and this does make a huge difference to the damage and the critical hit chance for the depth charges that are on the hull. And then there is the new Wolf's Tooth, which of course was in the weekly, and I believe Holsch did some charts last week that showed that the refit on this was worth it with the Wolf's Tooth. Obviously, you've got weight issues, but it's something worth looking at, especially if you get the free tokens to be able to do that.
I think they actually fit on my build. The other thing that we were trying to debate on or figure out was whether or not it was worth switching over from the Hunter special to the reload one, the ACP. And for the time, I mean,
I'm not bothering.
I might now with the tokens because mine are already refit. So I don't know.
Yeah, and just before we move on to the next piece, Jeff said that he took a look, and apparently you can stack the new Autoloader 4 and the Pyramid Special.
Super, yeah. So
good for on the Courage, he said on the Courage it gives 141% radioactive reload.
Ping, ping.
Yeah, pew, pew. So, okay. All right. The other thing that happened this week is they've made some mega combat changes. There are a fair few of these to go through. In summary, module defenses have been increased to better scale with current PvP tech, aka people are taking in some of the Uber PvP hulls and smacking megas. So the defense has been increased to help mitigate some of that. The damage output for core weapons have also been increased to compensate for the additional defenses at various MK levels. And then some general quality of life improvements for certain core weapons in terms of functionality and usability. So running through the first one, modules, deflections have been added, damage and module damage have been increased at MK3 and MK4 levels. And then tracking speed now increases at each MK level, with MK4 tracking twice as fast as MK1. So going through the individual components, the Culverin cannon damage and module damage increased at MK3 and 4. Tracking speed has now increased. The same thing with the Titan mortar. Damage has increased for all levels. And then on this one, no longer tracks attempts to fire at fleets. Now it will only attempt to fire at enemy modules. Now that's a key thing, because if you were using the mortar in the past, those things would fling out at a ship, and of course they fly halfway to Mars before they come back down to Earth. So the ships that were coming at you were long gone before those mortars got there. So glad to see that this is now actually targeting enemy modules on the Mega and not incoming fleets. And then on the Congreve rocket, they have increased the damage at both levels 3 and 4. The Exocet missile, the MERV damage increased for all MK levels. It now produces the same cryo field effect as the Cannibal Wendigo. Somebody help me out here. I think that is where it slows down, and it also deals with deflection, reduces deflection. Is that correct?
Reduces deflection and everything. The only problem is the Exocet is just as slow as the damn mortars.
Unless they've changed that, but yeah. We'll see.
Yeah, they are slow, but they do some damage. If you get yours all the way up to the top, I've seen some of those things put a hurting on some modules. The other piece of this is the cryo field deflection debuff does apply to enemy modules. So that ice field that is thrown around and slinging on the water and on the other modules is going to affect incoming modules as well. And then the missile strike drone, everybody's favorite. Deflection values have increased at MK3 and MK4 for existing deflections. And then the damage and module damage has been increased at MK3 and MK4. And then moving on to things that are not used very much, the anti-quad mort. That one has deflection values increased at all MK levels. The salvo amount has increased at each level up to a double of MK1 at MK4. So if you have used any of these, and I do use one of these when I park mine for the night, kind of in defense mode, they've now increased the salvo, so that will help reduce some of the incoming damage from the other modules. And the same thing for the anti-cannon quad. Deflection values have been increased at all MK levels for existing deflections. And then the accuracy of the chaff increases at MK level from 50% at MK1 up to 65% at MK4. And then splash increase at each MK level up to 45 at MK4. So they've actually taken a look at those two things. And they have helped those. I'm not sure if it's going to be a huge help now that they've buffed everything else, but at least they have looked at those.
We'll see.
Yep. So those are the changes to the Mega hull. We're going to talk about Megas in a little bit more, the Nexus with Bounty. So, take a moment to take a look at the changes that are in there. If you did not catch last week's update through the FM, they actually reduced the amount of components, the advanced components and the metal components that were needed to go ahead and update and increase your modules. So those have now been greatly reduced. So it's a lot easier now. Instead of 4 and 5 and 7 and 8, now it's a lot lower at the beginning. So it's much quicker and easier for people that are just starting their Megas to actually be able to go ahead and build something.
Yeah, but titanium.
It's still the mother of all gods to go and get.
Yeah, it's such a pain in the ass to get.
Well, it's all right if you've got Skyfires with the flag, because then you can just get auto 85s like I do. But if you haven't and you went the other route, you're in a real painful position, aren't you?
Yeah, I got to finish.
Oh, I know. It's 7 minutes per target, and it's 10 targets to fill up.
It's just dull, isn't it?
Oh, you had to say that last part, Robin. Damn.
Dull.
I'm empty. I don't want to know how many it takes. Crap.
But I mean, if you are okay, they've done things we don't want to link in. They've linked into Bounty, which you'll go through. But at least level 1, level 2, it's fine. Level 3 is one of each, isn't it? Sort of stuff, And then level 4, it's I don't know what it is because I haven't got to level 4 or anything yet, to be honest. So I suppose it's a bit better,
Well, it allows the lower level, because the biggest issue for the lowest level, it takes 24 hours to research an advanced module. And if you're a little guy, you're not hitting huge megas to go steal advanced. You're actually researching them. And so these poor guys, they would get, 2 researched on their third one, ready to start the next one, and some big guy would come along and swipe their advanced component. So this does actually allow them to essentially almost instantly build. As soon as that advanced module gets done, they can go ahead and use uranium, research the meta one, and kick that off, and then not have to worry about losing, that module while waiting for other ones to be done. And then the key thing for this is that in order to be able to do the TLCs, you have to be able to have a minimum amount of weapons to be able to get, the ever popular strike drone modules and things like that. So this will, obviously doesn't help for this bounty or anything like that, but it does actually help them get there quicker.
I suppose the other thing we can do as well, because level 1s and level 2s no longer want those parts, that means now you can go straight in and get in the VXP tokens for Conquerors, because it's 3 days for level 1, and then 3 days approximately to upgrade the weapon inside it, and then another 3 days to do level 2, and then another 3 days to. So there's plenty of time there to go actually get your Conqueror tokens. If you got, obviously the titanium, that is, George. Sorry, mate.
Yeah, I know. I'm going to start one right now, actually.
Moving on.
Okay, so moving on to Bounty. I'm not going to touch on everything in Bounty. I'm just going to kind of go through some of the high-level changes because a lot of the core stuff has stayed the same. Obviously, Bounty is an event where players repeatedly smash each other bases and steal Bounty. You get points. You spend that on PvP tech. Players protect their winnings by climbing through a series of checkpoints each day. There are prizes available at the end, but dedicated pirates who manage to rise through the ranks will claim the shiniest spoil. Okay, so a summary of the changes from the last season. This, of course, is Bounty 4. This is the 4th one that we've done. They have made changes through each iteration. So the changes for this time is now you can actually earn a fixed amount of bounty for each successful base defense. These defense rewards will be capped at some maximum per day, and we'll go through those in a minute. But this was one of the biggest things that concerned people and people had issues with, was that, here I am with my base. People are dying left, right, and center. I'm not getting anything for defending my base, and yet I have to, either coin the repairs or, speed things up to be able to do that. So I am happy to see that something has been included in this. And then the King of the Nexus is back, except this time it's paying out bounty. Before it was a gold payout. This, of course, has now been tuned to pay out bounty during the season. There are still 4 regular and 1 super challenge checkpoints each day. Checkpoint 1 has been increased slightly for each day, which means they are a little harder to obtain, but they still allow you to secure more bounty each day. Okay, and so for the overview, Season 4 will run from the 30th through until December the 4th, from 10 a.m. till 10 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. Join the hunt to obtain an initial seed amount of unsecured bounty. Unsecured bounty, obviously, is bounty that can be stolen. So as per every other event, when you start, you're awarded a certain amount of bounty. Then they are continuing on with the grant. Also, at every 6 hours, you will be granted 800 bounty every 6 hours. The drop times are 10, 4, 10, and 4. If you miss a grant, it will be held until the next time you log in. If you miss 2 or more grants, only 1 grant's worth of bounty will be held until the next time you log in. So if you log in at 11 o'clock and you miss the 4 o'clock, and then you miss the 10 o'clock, you've only got 1 grant that can be stored. So you have to essentially log in at least once every 6-ish hours to go ahead and get that drop. And then in order to redeem your grant, you may have to go to the world map and re-enter your base.
Boo.
Okay. Moving on to destroy a base, that's at least 2 stars. To steal unsecured bounty, 2 stars, at least 50% base damage, and the outpost destroyed is considered the success as to where you will go ahead and get bounty awarded. You reach a checkpoint, and then some unsecured bounty becomes secured. Now, obviously, we should all be aware of that now, that if it's unsecured, people can pillage it. If it's not unsecured, then you can go ahead and steal that from another player. There are 4 checkpoints each day, plus 1 stretch checkpoint for hardcore PvPers. The 5th checkpoint has several progress prize milestones. Reach these to receive chests that pay out token prizes, uranium, and more. Note that the first checkpoint location has changed from Season 3. And as always, use the locator on the world map to find bounty player targets. There are also NPC targets for bounty. That's the bounty occupied bases, but they do not show in the locator.
At least they got the clarification of the 2-star and 50% right this time, which is nice.
Yes. Yeah.
Because it was rubbish, 25 or something last time, wasn't it?
Are they? Do we have jackpot targets this time?
Don't know.
You know,
It says NPC, so we'll see.
They mentioned bounty occupied, and I'm sorry I kind of put this together so quickly. I was just cutting and pasting, wasn't really reading, so I think there's a section for that. New base defense rewards. Okay, so for each successful base defense, you'll be awarded bounty. This bounty is not stolen from the attacker. So if I go and beat up on George's base, I'm not going to lose any bounty for losing against him. So that has not changed. However, you can earn a certain amount of bounty for that successful defense. You can earn up to 5 such defense rewards per day. This quota is reset daily, timed to coincide with the refreshing of the checkpoints. A successful base defense means the attacker earned less than 2 start, and I believe that should be 2 stars, less than 2 stars, and either the attacker took 10% plus damage during this time, or your base took 20% plus damage. Each successful defense earns you 200 bounty. This can be earned up to 5 times each day. So essentially, you can earn 1,000 bounty a day just for defense. Now, key here is that 10% plus damage or. So what this does is if you need to go peek a base, or if you look at a base, or you enter a base and you're like, oh my God, there's no way in heck I can beat this, you can leave and they're not going to win bounty for that. So you still have to do damage to the fleet, and your base has to reach a certain percent of damage. Okay, moving on to the new bounty Nexus. King of the Nexus is back, and this is the mega component. The difference this time, instead of gold, obviously it's paying out bounty. For alliances hived at a node, all members will receive a periodic drip of bounty. However, you cannot claim this bounty until you opt in. Now that's interesting because it sounds like you can be on a Nexus and have this drip happen, but until you opt in, it's not going to be awarded. So once that you're opted in, we'll give you any retroactive drips that you were eligible for, if any, and only up to the stored drip cap, and any future drips. Expiration bonus is only awarded to players in the Hive at each Nexus when this expires. Now, in the Hive, I believe, should be linked to the Hive, meaning that you have to be connected to it, not just parked next to it.
Yeah.
So you're still going to have to be linked at the time that it expires in order for that to pay out. Anyone can claim or hive up at a Nexus as long as they have a mega ship. Whether you are opted in only affects whether you can claim bounty. So what that says there means that if you are in an alliance and you're not participating in bounty, you can still link to the Nexus and you can still defend. Does that make sense?
Yep.
Okay. All right. So there are 5 Nexuses. I thought maybe that was going to be Nexi.
It's 5 per world, isn't it? Yeah. So people are thinking it's the bonus drop boxes, for the 99s, but it's not. It's just the Nexuses that are 5 per world.
Yep. 5 Nexuses per world. Nexuses will drip 25 bounty every hour. There will be 2 rounds of Nexus spawns. The first set will last from Thursday, 11:30 through until Friday, 12:01. At 3 p.m. The Nexus expiration bonus will be 2,000 bounty. You must log in and claim this bonus on Friday, 12/01 from 3 until 4:55 p.m. So in addition to having to pay attention to your drops, you now have to also log in and claim this bounty between a specific time. So that's a very key piece of information. It's not just going to award it. It sounds like you actually have to log in and claim it. And it is just shy of a 2-hour window on Friday the 1st.
Or you lose it, yeah.
Yeah. Now, the problem with this is that people work. So what are the folks that have regular jobs and who happen to live in California and work? How are they going to log in and do this?
Yeah, it's a weird thing, isn't it? I must admit, East Coast is suffering again.
Yeah. Well, no matter what time they do it, somebody's going to suffer from it. It would have been better if maybe they could have done it on the weekend or even later at night.
Well, in general, I mean, if you live in the Oz, and I think everybody should move down under, it all seems to pan out quite nicely. You might have to be a night owl, but it does seem to work quite nicely for you.
Yep. And another round of Nexuses will spawn on Friday at 5 p.m., hence the cutoff for logging in to get the other, and then expire when the season ends. So basically, there's 2 bounty Nexus periods. At the end of the first period, you have to go ahead and log in and claim, and then the second one will go ahead and start. You will have till the end of the store to log in and claim the expiration bonus. Now, that's interesting because that one says the end of the store. So the first round, you have to log in after it finishes within a 2-hour window. On the second one, though, it looks like as long as you log in before the store disappears, then you can go ahead and claim that expiration bonus. And the second one will be 4,400 bounty for the second set of Nexuses.
Who's already tired of bounty?
Well, there's a lot of new stuff. I mean, look, this will come in the PDF document that I'll upload to the page anyway, so you can take it away and read it in slow time. But there is a lot of new features here. We'll go through the key points, and then you'll need to read this in slow time. Bear in mind it starts in 24 hours. But yeah, it is a lot, but it's a lot. Simple as that. Anyway, go on, Robin.
Okay, just moving on to some general bounty stuff. Obviously, this is a PvP event. It's broken into seasons. The PvP event will start for all worlds simultaneously. There is no staggering with bounty. When it's on, it's on. The bounty store opens at the end of the season and will remain open for a limited time. In order to participate, you have to opt in. And you can opt in by going to your outpost or the bounty alert in the notification tray. To activate, you must be a level 50 and have upgraded your outpost to level 6 or higher.
You can try and launch fleets and join that way too by accident. I'm just saying.
It works.
I think everybody's freaking got nailed by that at one point now.
Yeah, and that is a really good point. Because that new bounty is in there and there's an opt-in bounty, I think it's on the repair queue, I believe it is, or the dock view. You need to be careful that you don't click that by accident. Joining bounty means that you receive, obviously, the periodic bounty grants. You can attack others to steal their bounty. It also means that you become a valid target to steal from. You can choose if you want to opt in. Once you opt in, you cannot opt out. And obviously, when you join Bounty Hunt, it immediately disables damage protection, i.e. pops your bubble. So if you've got a couple of hours left on your bubble, or you just got schwacked right beforehand, it might behoove you to wait a little bit before you go ahead and join in. And then players who've joined the Bounty Hunt are marked by the bounty icon next to their base on the world map. The bounty icon will be larger and glows on targets that yield more bounty. Now, they did correct this last time. I don't think there were any issues with bounty being awarded or misdoing it. So as long as you hit somebody and they haven't been attacked or banked in between the time that you clicked on their base and then attacked them, it should be awarding the correct amount of bounty that's there. And then you can also increase your bounty level. Leveling up your bounty level will give defensive boost to your outpost. I believe the screenshot on this may actually be incorrect because last time the amounts were dropped a little bit, but don't dismiss this. You want to make sure that you are full of uranium if you're going to participate in this, because they're instantly quick, but they do cost uranium for the upgrades, and it does actually do a pretty good upgrade. I think at level 4, isn't it like 50% defense on the outpost?
It does go to that, yeah.
Yeah, which stacked with everything else that you've got on your warehouses, so on and so forth, does actually make a big difference. Okay, secured versus unsecured. Obviously, bounty points are granted, earned, stored, or protected and stolen during the bounty season. Your bounty balance is displayed at the top left. On the screen, you also know how much you have that's secured, which means that they can't be taken, how much is unsecured, which can be taken. The attacker can take up to 40% of this. Remembering that if you do attack other players and you lose, you don't lose any of your bounty. To protect your bounty, they've created daily checkpoints. Each day there'll be 5 different checkpoints available, accessible via the Daily Goals tab. Once your unsecured bounty crosses that checkpoint threshold, that entire amount will be reclassified as secured bounty, which can obviously no longer be stolen by other players. Checkpoints 1 to 4 are a bounty hunter's bread and butter. However, checkpoint 5 is meant to be a challenge and only for the most dedicated and ambitious. Both secured and unsecured bounty can be spent at the store at the end of the season.
I like the term ambitious. Everybody can be ambitious. Doesn't mean you're going to get anything.
Yeah. Okay, so the checkpoint schedule. There are chests that are awarded at specific checkpoints. It's usually, I think, on the last checkpoint of the day. Oh, here we go. I'm sorry. Note all chest prizes are between checkpoints 4 and 5. So the last checkpoint that you reach, that's where the chests are going to be awarded. As you progress through checkpoint 5, there'll be mini prizes such as chests along the milestone markers. Now, some of these actually were pretty cool.
They were, yeah.
Yeah, I got like a one-day Conqueror token. I got all excited because the first one that I got was a one-day Conqueror token. I was like, woohoo, this is only going to get better. And then the next one I got was like 25k uranium.
25k, yeah. I think I got an 8.
I was like,
yeah. Some of those random ones, yeah.
Yeah, but when you do get the Conqueror tokens, and they're not hull specific, they are class specific. So I think I ended up with like 2 or 3, or I think it was 4 last time around, which, came in handy. If you can reach that checkpoint and you get those are really good. And here's the checkpoint levels. In the past, checkpoints, I believe, were 1,600 or 1,700. So it took 2 grants plus 2 bandit occupied bases to reach the checkpoint. So that's changed this time. The minimums have been increased. So now you're going to need to do a little bit more work with the grants, as well as maybe hitting some bases and going ahead and the bounty occupied bases as well. So you'll see that all of the checkpoints 1 through 4 are now at 2,000. You get a chest at 2,000, chest at 5,000, then a chest at 9,000, and then the 5th checkpoint is the 10k checkpoint. And then on the last day, things get significantly harder for those that are ambitious. First checkpoints, of course, 4 at 2k, and then the chests are granted 8, 16, 32, and 57,120. So that did not change from last time around. So if you are able to bank early, save a lot so that you're not sitting there open with 5k available looted bounty on the last day, because there is nothing worse than having everything you want and then you get hit 10 minutes before it ends and you lose a good 40% of your unsecured bounty. Earning bounty, of course, just some high-level general stuff. Seeded, it's granted every 6 hours. You receive bounty by attacking other bases. You can still up to 40%. You can also go ahead and hit the bounty occupied bases. You still cannot attack members of your own alliance for bounty. Attacking an alliance member will not earn you bounty, and the game won't let you do that anyway. You can still attack somebody with less unsecured bounty than you, or someone that has not opted into bounty. However, obviously you're not going to get any bounty from these combats. You must destroy the enemy's outpost and earn at least 2 stars to gain the bounty. If you attack a player and their outpost is still destroyed from a previous combat, you will not earn any bounty from the battle. You can also earn bounty from destroying the NPC base targets. These are the bounty occupied bases, and they spawn around the nav relays regularly, or not so regularly depending on the bonuses. The level 85 still plays out 50. The level 96 is still paying out 100. There are going to be the bandit jackpot hordes for significantly higher payouts, and the jackpot horde targets only spawn very rarely and at random times, and hopefully a little more random than last time so that everybody has an opportunity to participate in those.
I don't know why they keep on insisting on doing it the way they've been doing it. I mean, cut the jackpot in half and double the times that they show up. That way everybody gets a shot.
And, we said this before, and I really think they should do this because well, first off, the only way you know if one spawns is if somebody happens to ping you and say, hey, they're out, or you happen to magically have one appear right next to the tower in your sector. So there's no way for you to know. We talked about like the Reaver Assault platforms, I think it was, or whatever they did, the shard ones where they actually put the message in the comms where they said, the XYZ target is out. That I think would be beneficial so that people know and actually have the opportunity to look at it, because there was, last time around there were people that had gunboats at almost every tower in every sector in the world. So, people were out there snagging them, looking at them, and then there were the people like Mark who had to stay up later than normal and wait for these things, and then they didn't show up. Huh? Slightly. And then, they didn't even get any opportunity because they were, oh my God, in the morning or during the day. So I like him. I think it's cool. It's nice to be able to, but like you said, George, cut it down and increase the spawn and make it kind of fair for everybody. Okay. You'll win and lose medals during bounty based on the normal rules, but obviously it won't be displayed as prominently. You can still see your information on medals and bounty in the battle log. Damage protection, different damage protection rules apply during bounty, and I don't think that's changed. 100% base damage gives you the 4-hour bubble, 75% also gives you the 4-hour bubble. So again, shortened bubble times. And obviously this is, where the defense piece kicks into it. If you get bubbled, you need to manage your bubble timer. And this also ties back into the mega hull. So if we're all in the same alliance and we're all on a hive and we're holding a hive and Mark's mega gets attacked and I go send a fleet to help him out, if I'm using a regular surface fleet, not a mega, if I'm using a regular fleet and I have a bubble, if I go and assist on that Nexus, I will lose my bubble. So you need to manage that if you're doing that, and that also can be used to the attacker's advantage as well, timing on when they go and hit up on a mega.
Now that they've added the base defense thing and the mega thing, you would think that if you've had a successful base defense, you could get, like, I don't know, a couple of tokens to repair stuff in your base. This just still seems asinine.
That was one of the suggestions that we put forth last time, because the concern, and I understand the concern. The concern was initially of people taking advantage of collusion, for want of a better word. I think collusion was the word that GDA used. If we're in the same alliance and you drop your tag and you don't really care and you've got 5,000 bounty and you hit me and I take half of your bounty, there was an opportunity for people to take advantage of that. And so I think that's where the set amount comes in. But it would be nice to have some tokens, and because that's a big expense on the defense side of it. A lot of people don't realize that successful defense, woohoo, I get 200 bounty and I successfully defended, but now you've got to go and repair your base, although even if it's at half cost. But then there's that big expensive guard fleet that you have to repair as well, and it's all got to be done before 4 hours, because in 4 hours time, he who hits you is going to come back and try again.
So long as you were on while he hit you, because if you weren't.
True. And that brings up another point. Shipyards still do building while you're in bounty. So if you do get hit and your base gets flattened, your shipyard builds are not going to stop. They will still continue in the background. Okay, the PvP store. Once the PvP season is ended, obviously there's going to be a store. It'll be open for a few days. You can go ahead and redeem prizes just like we do in the raid. Any unspent bounty is gone. We also still have the Conqueror repair queue during PvP. Conqueror fleets get a second repair queue so that you can go ahead and simultaneously repair a Conqueror fleet in addition to doing a regular fleet. The Conqueror repair queue is only for Conquerors. You still can repair regular fleets and Conquerors in your regular repair queue. So if you've got a Conqueror fleet that you need to repair, you can actually split them up between the two and cut the time in half even further. So Conqueror fleets are indicated by the gold crown. The fleets are also outlined in gold as well. That indicates that if you've got 4 gluttonies in a fleet and you're running a skirmish flag, it will not allow you to repair that until you take that skirmish out. So pay attention to those types of things as well. And then we've got the locator. When you're opted in, bounty targets will be a new option on the locator. This will show someone with more unsecured bounty than you and within the normal base hitting level rules that are not currently bubbled. So obviously if the person does not have a bubble, they have bounty that you can go ahead and take from them, they will go ahead and show up. It's still possible for another player to hit a base listed in the locator as your fleet is traveling to it. Thus, it may be a case that your target is flattened on arrival. Unfortunately, your only option is to look for another target. So again, that ties back to I click on George's base, he's worth 500. I tootle over there. If somebody swacked him in between the time I get over there, then obviously it's not going to pay that and his base will be flat. There are 3 new bounty related leaderboards that have been included. They include current bounty, season highest bounty, and all-time high bounty earned. Okay, And then non-participants. If you don't want to participate, then you're not required to. Don't activate bounty. You'll not be opted into the PvP season. You're exempt from earning bounty. You do not have access to the PvP store, da-da-da-da-da. But even if you're a non-participant, if you do have a mega, you can still defend the Nexus with your alliance against intruders to hold that mega Nexus. So those that are not participating or don't feel strong enough to participate but still have a mega, if your alliance teammates, if you guys go to hit that mega, you can still go ahead and join that. People obviously can still hit your base if you're not participating. They just won't be able to steal any bounty, and it'll be just the regular normal medal rules. Okay, so let's take a look at some prizes. First up, we've got the King's Condemnation skin. This is a skin designed for the King's Writ hull. I got all excited when I saw this, and I thought, oh, it's a flagship. And then I realized, no, it's a skin.
It's a purple skin. Move on.
That ship doesn't need a flagship.
Wait till you see how much it costs. Okay, moving on. We've got the flanged warheads. These reconfigured rocket warheads provide improved aerodynamics as well as releasing smaller charges that can cause additional damage. Okay, I'm going to punt to you guys for a second if you want to walk through some of these.
Flanged warhead, sorry. So yeah, this is a good prize. Okay, it's the special that links with. You'll see in a minute that well, you've seen the weapons, that sort of stuff. So critical hits is a bonus, you know, and obviously critical damage is there as well. Rocket range is increased. Take that. It's important. Okay, rocket range increase. Light 9%. That sort of stuff. So, yeah, again 6. But we haven't started the tier 7 stuff because that's coming in the new year. But so this is the top end tech sort of stuff. But the fact that it's light, the fact that you get boost on rocket range, which is a really good thing to do.
Yep.
I like it, and I can see plenty of places I'm going to put this already. I like
Defender
this.
only. Defender only.
But there's plenty of holes that it'll it'll assist with. So yeah.
Yep.
Good little special that one.
Okay, moving on to the flail rockets.
And here we go then. So there's the beastie. Bear in mind the damage boost and the critical hit chance there as well. And this thing, the range is 68, which is poop. Okay, and I'm sure it's got a boost range probably on the hull, which we'll come to, I'm expecting in a minute. But obviously the special there's got a boost range as well. So it's a bit of a heavy, chubby thing, as you always say.
Yep, chubby.
That thing is gonna hurt.
I love the picture. It's got 6 rounds. No, it hasn't, because 3 of them are bluff, because it's only got salvo 3. Okay, so 72k bulk standard. Divide that by 3 first. That gives you your hit count per salvo and that sort of stuff. But that's before you do anything. Clearly, this thing is designed to kill the kings. That's probably what it's for. Look at the projectile speed. Add HVR as well. A couple of other bits on there as well. Reload time 8. Half that again for obviously for going up to with your ranking and that sort of stuff. And then add a couple of specials. This thing's going to be mental, basically.
Yeah, I just really wonder if you can counter it with the sprint.
Don't know, mate. But it's just the fact that how quick it's going to reload. And I mean, it is only 3. I have to say, you know. There are a couple of things there. Bearing in mind it's explosive, there are a couple of things out there that have got splash that work well as well. So yeah, chances are, but yeah, be interesting.
Yep, going to be an interesting one. And then we've got the concussive plates. I didn't put pictures for everyone, but we've got 3 different levels of these.
Obviously, if you haven't got the bus, these are nice to go on some of your, because obviously the OP gun and that sort of stuff. This will help you out quite a lot, I think. So slap these all over things. If you want up your repair time, then slap them all over stuff. So conquerors and defenders, and particularly those people that have got subs that are, and other things that are taking lots of damage from the concussive stuff, like people sneaking in with certain submarines that are being built at the moment out there. There are a few interesting ones. I won't say which ones because it's PvP and that's alliance stuff, but there are some interesting builds out there at the moment where people are having lots of fun, I have to say. Right. Good. So they're all there. They're heavy. They do the job, but they're exactly the same stats as all the other ones, just for concussive. So.
Okay, and it's the New Hope.
It looks like Billy beam us up. What's that thing?
It looks like they chopped off the front end of it, Justice.
It looks like a drone. That's what it looks like.
They bent it.
It looks like a drone.
It looks like an A-wing from Star Wars. That's what it is. It looks like an A-wing almost. Or one of those really cheap foam planes that you get at the dollar store and you throw and try and catch on fire over a campfire, you know.
It looks like it's been drawn with crayons.
Well, part of that may actually be the quality of the image.
Nah, I don't think it is.
No, I look, the art team has been doing a phenomenal job with so much stuff lately. I mean, yeah, they kicked the dog in this one, man.
Must have a new recruiting that did this one.
Yep. Okay, so this Forsaken Hull provides nearby non-hope defenders with additional deflections and will heal them once they are damaged. So it's got the heal
nearby
mechanic.
no hope or non-hope?
It says non, not no hope. In addition, features a hostile aura which causes enemies in range to reload slower. Hope springs eternal in the human heart. Okay, so let's take a look at some stats. All right, so armor points, 350,000. We've got 10k ship DPS. We've got countermeasure range for antis. We've also got rocket reload, rocket range, so that ties into that flail rockets.
Yeah. Anti-morts. Yeah, we can see it's a countermeasure ship, yeah.
Yep, a healthy 200% damage added as well for explosive. Add that. Holy plus, what was it, the garrison battery?
Yeah, there's plenty of stuff. This thing's basically going to live after being mortared to pieces, isn't it? So that's the whole idea of it. It's probably going to help you with, obviously, retargeting sloths and the bus and that sort of stuff while people run in with countermeasure kings. That's basically it in a nutshell, isn't it?
Yep. As usual, defense handicap, low evade, and then it's got some pretty good deflections that are in there. And then they've kind of messed this up. It says turn speed 2, map speed 35. I have the feeling that that should be combat speed of 2.
No, it won't. No, basically, it's fixed. You can't move it. They always make them turn, but they don't allow them to go further. Most of these ones that are defender only are fixed in this. Justice was as well, and a couple of others. So.
Oh, okay, yeah. I was using a different view. Didn't have Andrew about. Okay, moving on to detection. This one's got a thermal imaging range of 90. 3-hour repair, 12 weapon slots, 3 armor slots, 6 special slots. And then let's take a look at the duplicate aura cap. Max of 2, friendly ships. It's got a very long range. I think this is the longest range one we have, isn't it?
I can't see it. Where is it? Oh, yeah, 125. Yes.
Yes,
yeah.
so this is...
overlaps on lots of ships. I get it.
Yes.
You can dot them around probably one end of the fleet and the other end of the fleet, so they overlap the whole base. Yeah, transfer efficiency is good. Yeah, it's quite nice, isn't it? That's not a bad set of abilities. Yeah, quite like those.
Yeah, I was looking at that in that, you know, with the other ones, like you have to park things next to your hab to get inside the aura. This one's got a little bit more room. A lot of deflections that are also added to the other ships. You've got explosive as well as penetrative. It affects only defender classes, though. So.
But it might bring the courages back to life again. That's the thing I was thinking.
Yep.
They look at a mortar and they just keel over like a wet lettuce, don't they? So
yeah, and it's also got and it's also got a good healthy amount. It's 35,000 armor points, so it's got 350k base points. So that's like 10 transfers.
So there's a couple of good things there. There's that new, obviously, bonus that's out, which you can get in the Tech Up. Well, actually, if you actually win a prize, that'd be nice. But if you can get the Tech Up prize and then add that to your courages, add this in as well if you get it, then you have a potential of actually doing something. Defending could be back in.
Yes. Yeah, so this one obviously is not going to be cheap.
Throw coins at it. Go on, do it.
You got to win it first.
Go on, it's only Christmas. But it could go about.
Yep. Okay, so that's the Hope, a defender hull, which ties into the specials and weapons that are out there, which are also classed for defender hull. So this looks like it's going to be, the answer to all of the uber OP fleets that have been coming into bases lately.
Yeah.
All right, so then let's take a look at the prize amounts. And first off, I just want to for Venom, fuel, air, munitions 2 is in bounty.
Okay, it's there. It's a PvP thing. This is where it should be. It's in the right thing. It's one of the lower price points. Go get it. Get it. Done.
Okay. So then let's just run through these real quick. 1,700 points. We've got the plating, which is, I thought, a really nice price point for those. It's not something that's way up there. So if you're we're looking to get that. It's not a whole lot. Of course, we've got the normal 12-hour ship build token, only one. Then we've got a 24-hour Conqueror class build token that has not been in there before. So that's a new one. Retribution is in there. Splash disbursement, interception system. Radon breeder is back for all of those that have mega hulls. Those are really cool on drones. Thermonuclear launcher. And then fuel air munitions level 1. And then at the 2400 mark, we've got the Hedgehog mortar, the Delta V mortar focus, new concussive plate 5, and then Zinthonite armor D4R. Is that the radiation one for the base?
It should be the. Oh, I don't know actually. D4R. Hang on, I have to go back into game and have a little look. But if that's what they call it. Or someone in chat just tell me, because there's plenty of geeks in chat, so I'm sure someone will just keep going. Someone will say it.
At the 5,000 level, the ever popular fuel air munitions 2. If you don't have this and you have anything to do with PvP, enjoy your base, like your base, then go ahead and get this. If nothing else, get this. Then we've got the additional concussive plates. We've got the Excalibur Gatling gun, the vulcanized barrels. Which both of those were available last time around. And then they've also included the Sloth.
Yeah, at 5k for the Sloth. Yeah, I get that. Yep. But Sloth may have had its day within the next couple of months, I think. But we'll see. Yep.
And then moving on to the higher level, or the more ambitious levels, for 10,000 is the Flower Rockets and the Flange Warheads. And this is kind of in line with what the prices were last time for the new things. They've also included the Brennus Unstoppable Sloth, aka the bus, is also available for 10k. And then at 15,000, you too can get yourself a handy dandy King's Writ. And if you're really ambitious and you have a spare 15,000 points, you can go ahead and get the sexy King's Writ skin.
That's insane.
Knock yourselves out. I love it. Yeah,
I saw that and I was like, really? 15,000?
People will do it. You wait and see. They'll be having purple kings and all that sort of stuff, you know.
And then, of course, at the mega ambitious level for the cheap price of 37,120 points, that's where you're going to get your New Hope. And it looks like you're only allowed to get 2 of those.
You had to do a New Hope, huh?
Yeah, well, hey. Okay, so those are the high-level points of bounty. Of course, this time we've got some base defense stuff. We've got the mega hulls. The bounty bases are still out there. So if it's, take the time to read the release notes. I've tried to include the high points here, but obviously not everything is in there. Make sure that you fully understand what you're getting yourself into before you hit that opt-in button.
And the game should be going down in about a minute, right?
Yeah.
Sorry, what?
So just quickly, the D4R. Yeah, it's the reinforcement one for the base. Okay, just to confirm on that for you, it's radioactive defense 31%, ranked at 15. So armor point 16k.
Okay, and then Mark brought this to my attention, and I don't believe this was in the release notes. But if you go to your advanced lab, there is a new trap, and it's a scourge undersea web. Is what it's called.
It's a slowdown, wasn't it? Or something. I think we might have, turn speeds and combat speeds and that stuff. Like it basically is like a drag net. Basically, I think as you go across it, it sort of makes a mess of you.
Yep, and you can actually start researching this now. I was able to start doing mine, so this is available and there for you to go ahead and research. And so, as stated, this one looks like it's built specifically for pesky glut submarines.
You pesky gluts, you. Yes, so turn speed down, combat speed 75%. Wow. Okay.
Surfaces them?
It does lots of good things, doesn't it? I like it.
Yep, surfaces submarines, duplicate or attack. We've also got concussive deflection. It's cold snap immune. There's also deflections for buildings nearby, buildings and turrets. We've got concussive deflection, a huge amount of explosive deflection. That's 200k. So you pop that on your gate with your warehouse nearby, and that's really, it's 6 million armor points for the upgraded portal. That's going to make a huge difference.
Yeah.
Yep. And it's also... Sorry?
Yes, I was just looking at explosive deflection. On the second gate in, that's going to be amazing, isn't it? So you've got deflection there and field effects, and the duplicated aura field effect as well. Blimey.
Yep. So slowing them down. and making them turn harder, and then also additional deflections that are out there as well. I don't know. So yeah, new one that's out there. Take a look at it. You can go ahead and like I said, research that now. It is available in the advanced lab. I just kicked mine off.
Yeah, me too. Just on it.
Yep. There was no official bug fixes and tunings. There were a couple of things that did occur today with the update. One of them was that apparently some crews went a little bit hinky, but my understanding is that's been corrected. And again, as mentioned earlier, it looks like there might be some issues with the campaign, one of the campaigns, the Tech Up campaign. And
so I've got a bit of update if you want it. Just reading some notes from Chris Rampage, basically. So the 4 o'clock hot update that the game's going to be down for about 30 minutes because something's not working in the game. Take out of that what you will, but I know someone's run through the whole of Tech Up 3 now, has not got any prizes out of all the hits. And it does say basically the chance of getting tech from the Tech Up, each time you hit a box, a level, and then click on it, you get a random opportunity to drop something in there. It could be, so this is a random area, just like rolling a crew. Just because you've rolled 9 times, you still logically might only get 1 item out of those 9. I still think you should get it somewhere in the 1 to 7, at least one of them sort of stuff, but at 7, 8, 9 you should definitely get it. That doesn't seem to be happening, so I think they're trying to fix that mechanic. I think that's what they're doing.
Oh, I was just going to say I hope they're fixing that, and that's not the way it's going to stay.
Because someone's rolling through all 9 and they've got nothing at all.
Okay, so it sounds like that's being addressed. Something else somebody just also brought up to me who was doing the Hunter campaign. Apparently the skirmish targets are dropping MK1 Hunter tokens and not skirmish class tokens. I don't know if that's applicable all the way through or whether it was just that one particular level. So it looks like it's only Hunter tokens and potentially not ones that could be used on Fangs.
Okay.
Wait. So they took out the Hunter tokens, put them in the skirmish chest, and then said, screw the skirmish tokens for the... What?
I just got a message from one of the guys in my alliance. He said the skirmish chests don't give skirmish tokens. It's giving Hunter tokens. So just anyway, I just want to say something quickly. I know George is going to say something in a minute as well, because we've hit the hour, I know that sort of stuff, but can I just ask, please, that we get some clearer notes in the weekly updates, because the notes have not been particularly very good. They were pretty hard to decipher last week, and I think they're even harder to decipher this week. If the Tech Up 3, if the drop rate is going to be completely different, I'd rather you spend a little bit longer discussing or explaining to us how the new mechanic's going to work, rather than everybody having to go into the pages in the forum and then ask 100 times, why am I not getting this or why am I not getting that? If you just say, last time it was like you got them straight away, but if you went past round 5 and you've got everything, you would just get a 1 hour drop. This time we're not doing that. We're doing X, Y, Z. Make it really clear, okay? If you want to treat us like 2-year-olds, I don't mind, but I'd rather that than getting 1,000 freaking questions, because it's really annoying me. Yeah, there's been a couple instances of some missing information, and I don't think it's intentional, but I think it's one of those things that there are multiple levels of players, and
but they're making it harder for their
language too.
Yeah, I mean the guys are just putting in tickets left, right, and centre, and if you put some clear defining notes up, you wouldn't need half the tickets, which means the tickets that do go through might get answered quicker because they're actually more relevant. Rather than this shit's broken, which is the generic thing that seems to be going all over all the pages at the moment.
Yep. Anyway. Okay, one more thing. Let me see if this works. Does that show the page?
Yes.
Okay, cool. The other thing that was happened this week, I'm sure you probably all saw it. If not, we'll go ahead and bump it to the top. The Forsaken Council is replacing our banner in January, and so rather than us come up with something, we are allowing the community to choose that. So we've got the banner design competition banner page that's up there. We've got some information as to what's required. Obviously there are rules, has to be Battle Pirates related. You have to have a universal rating of PG, parental guidance, which means no naughty words or pictures. We have to have a specific format, and then for those that were already looking at it, I don't know if anybody else noticed it, but the group pages on Facebook, they got a wild hair up their rear end and decided to change everybody's banners, and so that banner height pixel amount rate has been changed as well. on this page, and this is linked on the TFC page, there is a place for you to go ahead and submit your entry. You go ahead and click on that. It's going to ask you for information on your actual entry. And then for the information for prizes, there are 3 different levels of prizes. What's going to happen is the top 3 designs are going to be selected by the TFC admin and mod team. And then from there, we're going to put the 3 top contenders, for want of a better word, on the page, and we're going to allow you, the community, to choose the 1st, 2nd, and 3rd places. There are banner videos that you can get. There are banners and videos you can get. First prize is going to go ahead and get a YouTube intro from Andrew. He went ahead and put together some intros that are out there. You can go ahead and look at these different intros that he put out there together. There's also some examples of banner pages. And what's not on the information that's on the page is that our very own Renato is actually going to put up 50 gold to be included in the first prize. Obviously, the proviso being that the person is on Facebook and that he has the ability to transfer that to them. So in addition to the YouTube intro, plus the banner, plus the personalized Facebook page, there is a 50 gold prize included in that as well. So big thank you to Renato for that.
That may go up yet. We'll see.
Yep. And then we are going to, although we've got the official kind of show schedule Liam put out the other day, we are going to go ahead and have a Boxing Day show on the 26th of December, and we will go ahead and announce the winners on that show.
Yeah, so the 26th show will be slightly different. It won't be a, this is like the normal weekly stuff. We'll do something that's going to be like lighthearted and amusing, that sort of stuff. And we'll probably just flash. What I might do is go back and look at some of the shows over the year and pull out some clips and do some balloon statements and banners and basically humiliate everybody.
Ooh, bloopers?
Yeah, I might do some bloopers. Yeah, I thought it'd be fun.
I'm not sure who. I don't know if everyone will be on. But I won't be on. But I know Rue and Mark will be there. We maybe George. I don't know if you'll be on or.
We might just make it an open mic. I don't know. We might just have it as an open mic and people can come in. We'll do some bloopers and bits and bobs like that. I don't know. We'll see.
I might swing my head through the door for 5 minutes. Me and my son will say hello for 5 minutes. But that'll be about it.
We'll make it lighthearted anyway. So, but it's good to keep the competition live. It just gives Andrew then time we can announce it, as Robin was saying there, and that gives Andrew time then to build them, and then also have the one ready for the new show, which starts on the 3rd of January. So, sets the season off 3 just in the right place.
Brilliant, yeah. And as the guys were saying, as Rue and Mark were saying, we are, there was a post made on the page, but for anyone that hasn't seen it yet, we are looking to end season 2 on just spring up on the calendar. My memory's terrible. It will be the last show in December will be on Wednesday the 20th. The reason we're going to run with Wednesday is just in case there's any delays with the release notes that week. So we're just going to say Wednesday is outright. And then there will not be an open mic on Saturday the 23rd. And then you guys are looking to do like a kind of live / open mic show on the 26th, correct?
Yeah, it'll be a semi sort of flexible, that sort of thing, yeah.
So the official end of season 2 will be on the 20th, and then we'll be looking to kick off season 3 of TFC, which hopefully will be an exciting start to the year on the 3rd of January. But what we will be looking to do is close season 2 similar to the way we closed season 1 last year. We're aiming to get hopefully 1 or 2 special guests on the show, but nothing's certain just yet. But hopefully it's looking likely. So. Stay tuned for an announcement on that one.
Cool.
And is there anything else you guys wanted to add in?
Just one quick thing. Obviously, we've got new TLCs that are out there. As always, we have the TLC page. There are all the videos from the TLCs are put in there and kept up. So if you're looking to see what each round was, go out to the website and they're available.
Brilliant. Okay, guys. Well, I
think we're done. Yeah.
Yeah, I think we got everything.
Cool. We'll do a salty one on Saturday.
Yeah. Okay.
Sorry, guys. Let's close the show there, and we will see you on Saturday. And have a good weekend. Enjoy the bounty if you're going to play it. I'm certainly not.
Oh, I might dabble. I might dabble a little bit.
Well, there's some stuff in there that makes me want to, but
You need to get the Hunter campaign done. It's only been put on for you, or I didn't say that.
no, not the Hunter campaign, the Tech Up campaign.
Oh, that as well. Yeah, you got stuff to do now.
I got some TLCs to sort out. Yeah, for sure. Okay, well, have a good week, guys, and we will see you soon. Good night, everyone.
Night, everybody.
Take care.
Have a good night, everyone.